What's the narration?
Good morning, Josh.
Want anything to do with me? He said, Mo, that's.
Mr. Hadley, how are you today?
Good. How are you today, Your Honor?
I'm super.
I'm covering for Mr. Jeff Bowditch today. He's got a couple individual assignments up with you today. So I've got a few as well. So I'm just kind of logging in early, get a few things done while we're waiting.
Sounds good.
Your Honor, do you know which of our 34th judges are handling the landlord tenant docket right now?
Right this very second?
Yeah, if like you filed something now, does it kind of rotate like you guys do the criminal dockets, or is it done a little differently?
It rotates. I just finished second hearings yesterday. Um, Marianne can probably tell you, I don't have the master calendar up and you
Okay, it's
might
not
have
a
to
huge
call
deal.
Sandy. The way you have to file through OnBase, I don't know that she could necessarily tell you if you file today that it'll be assigned to this week.
Okay, thank you. Kind of learning the
You're
process for that.
welcome. You're filing a landlord tenant case?
Yeah. I did one or two out of 34th and they kind of they're well, I guess I didn't even file an eviction yet. I defended one and then it turned into three other ones. They're all commercial.
Okay, well, that's a lot different.
Oh yeah. A lot easier usually.
Don't say that.
Hmm,
There's some disagreement regarding CAM or anything else. A simple commercial case can turn into a whole bunch of other stuff.
I guess you're right. And some of the complex ones I have been commercial. I guess it's just a different level of like usually emotions involved.
There's no argument about the principle of it.
Not usually. It's dollars and cents.
Has that person been in with Andy Long?
Let me look. Um, which one? Philip Smith just went in there. Which, are you talking about the click headphone?
I'm gonna stop looking at it because people don't know that you're talking to them. I'm going to not pay attention to stuff that does not involve me. How about that? Let's just close that out over there. Let's get on
Your
base.
Honor, if you learn how to successfully ignore things that don't involve you, please teach me.
What you do is you take the breakout room, you put it all the way in the corner so you can't see it, and don't pull it up until you're actively looking for somebody or trying to help somebody come back out. And that's why I try to remember to tell the attorneys, make your client leave first so that they're clicking the right button to leave. Don't leave them sitting in there because I'm not going to call the case until your client's out with you. But on that note, go do your busy work. I'm here whenever anything's ready.
Morning.
Good morning, Crystal. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm so far so good, thank you.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Wait. Okay, here we go. Okay, moving.
Okay.
Thank you.
Morning, Sammer.
Good morning.
Morning, Caitlin.
Good morning, Marianne.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. You don't have any crazy stories to tell me today?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
the morning's early.
You're right. Hey. Oh, God. What is wrong with you?
Why is the volume not working?
I can hear you.
No, but it's. Uh,
Already?
Caitlin, how are you?
My volume's working just fine. I'm doing
Hey,
well.
there you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm okay. Now, all right. I'm back to my comfort zone now. No, on my end, I'm supposed to be able to turn up the juice here. I don't know why it's not.
Every single time you come on, there's something wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Got it. Look at that, huh? That's the kind of problem
Caitlin.
solver I am. I just want you to understand that.
Caitlin's just shaking her head.
You
Don't
know,
blame me.
he makes me look good, which is fine.
Ah, there you go. That's what I'm good for, right? That's okay. I don't mind that. That's all right.
Hey, Robert, there are people in your waiting room already.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gosh.
Yeah, all right. Give me a second here. This thing is weird. I gotta tell you. More breakout rooms. Okay, I got it. My breakout room. All right.
Sometimes you should just keep your thoughts to yourself instead of this
Oh,
is
you
being
guys
live
can hear
streamed.
me? I didn't know you could hear me. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Two in the waiting room, one in the room. Okay. All right.
You know, we're only 4 years into this.
That's pretty funny.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Ryan.
This is 181615 OT. This is Huron Township versus Brandon Colts.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Rickard,
Colston.
2186, MIDC Arraignment Council appearing on behalf of Mr. Colston. Your Honor, for purposes of arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stand mute. At this time, Mr. Colston will be pleading to one count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive.
Thank you, sir. Would you state your name for me, please?
Brandon
Mr.
Colston.
Thank you, sir. You had the
Honor.
opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala this morning,
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
and is your desire this morning to plead guilty to one count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, ma'am.
Would you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. I swear.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promise anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on April 11, 2018, in Huron Township, you allowed an unlicensed driver to drive?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Foley Carter?
Satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you.
Satisfied, Mr. Jadala?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Mr. Colston, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive and will dismiss the original count of driving while license suspended, revoked, or denied. Have you since resolved your license issue, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I have my license.
Okay, Mr. Colston, the court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. There's a $100 fine, there's $100 in cost, there's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, there's $50 mandatory state costs, there's $20 fund fee, there's a $35 reimbursement fee, $50 bench
Okay.
warrant fee, $15 administrative fee, $45 clearance fee, and a $50 late fee. That puts us at, I think, $540. There's a $150 bond that was posted in this matter. Would you need more than 5 days to pay the balance, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's look to
Yes, I need
see.
more than. Yes.
I was just looking to see if there was someone on from the collections department this morning, Mr. Colston. It does not appear that there is. What you can do, sir, is you go online to the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on that. It allows you to submit a payment plan that way. Or you can call and speak to someone in the collections department,
Okay.
or you can come in person. You have a payment plan on another matter, they can add this to that matter. So reach out to the collections department, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Colston, you have a good day. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
You're welcome. How are the pups?
Double trouble. That's what they are. But they're good. It's been a month now. They're finally relaxing, and I think they know that we're coming home to them, so they're a little bit less stressed. So that's good.
That's
Thank you.
wonderful.
Yeah. Still double trouble, but they're cute.
Do you dress them up?
Not yet. I think they'd probably eat the clothes off of each other, so.
Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. We are already on Olzak and Smith. Olzak is going to be an adjournment and Smith is going to be a dismissal.
Thank you. This is 23SU 01340OD. This is Sumter Township versus Natalie Olsack. Please state your names for the record.
Natalie Olzak.
Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Ms. Olzak.
Thank you. Ms. Medina, are we adjourning this case in its entirety or are you doing the arraignment?
Oh, we could do the arraignment, Your Honor. We would waive formal reading and stand mute. Ms. Olzak and I have had an opportunity to speak on 2 prior occasions, Your Honor, with regards to what she's being charged with and her rights.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. Ma'am, the court will set your bond in this matter at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed until this case is resolved in its entirety. Inasmuch as the allegations against you indicate that there was a crash, and at the time of the crash, you had a blood alcohol of 0.085, a condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages during the pendency of this matter. Your adjourned pretrial date will be
February 20th at 8:50.
February 20th at 8:50 a.m. That's back here on Zoom with me in courtroom number 1. Is there anything else, Ms. Medina?
No, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Ozak, court staff will mail notice of that new date to you at the address you confirmed. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
These are 23SU 01357 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Philip Smith. Please state your name for the record.
Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Philip Smith. Mr. Smith, would you say your name for the record?
Philip Smith.
Thank you. Ms. Medina, how are we proceeding this morning?
My understanding is that they would move to dismiss this matter and of these matters, and I would ask the court to do so.
Thank you. These matters are hereby dismissed. Is there anything else, Mr. Young?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Medina?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, that concludes these matters. You're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. These are 23SU 01209 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Jessica Britton. Please state your names for the record.
Robert Young, Sumter Township, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. It's only Josh Hadley, bring on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Jessica Britton, who's appearing via Zoom. Ms. Britton, please state your name for the court.
Jessica Britton.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding this morning?
Thank you, Your Honor. I did speak with Ms. Britton about the prior missed hearing. She had a scheduling work conflict, does make apologies to the court. At this point in time, we would like to avail ourselves of the people's plea offer. The plea offer would be that we would plead as charged on the A case to the disorderly intoxicated person. On the B case, Your Honor, we would stipulate to probable cause as to the interfering with police, but the Sumter Township prosecutors graciously agreed to dismiss that matter. In exchange for Ms. Britton's cooperation on the A case.
Thank you. Ms. Britton, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You may put your hand down. You had the opportunity to discuss this case this morning with Mr. Hadley, and it's your understanding that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to disorderly intoxication, stipulating the probable cause and the interfering with police, and interfering with police would be dismissed?
Yes.
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yeah.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yes.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yeah.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promise anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ma'am, is it true that on October 12, 2023 in Sumter Township, you were highly intoxicated on the side of the road and you were yelling at police officers?
From what I remember, yes.
And ma'am, you stipulate that there was probable cause to issue the charge of interfering with police?
Yeah.
Satisfied, Mr. Young?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Britton, the court will dismiss the B file interfering with police and enter the plea of guilty. As for the disorderly intoxication, Mr. Hadley, anything before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Britton and I discussed this case. We went through the evidence together. She's expressed regret, remorse, embarrassment about the situation that happened. It was certainly a bad night in the circumstances that led up to her having contact with the police. Not to use that as an excuse, just to say, we don't believe this is in character with what Ms. Britton's typical behavior would. She looks forward to addressing this and moving forward with her life.
Thank you. Ms. Britton, the court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. $100 fine, $100 in costs. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost. There's $20 fund fee. There's $50 show cause fee for your previous failure to appear. That puts us at $395. Do you need more than 5 days to pay this amount?
I do.
Ma'am, what you need to do is you can either come into the court and set a payment plan. You can go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on that, it'll take you down to submit a request for a payment plan. Or you may call and speak to someone in the collections department, but please set that payment plan sooner rather than later, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you too, Your Honor.
Mr. Young, I don't see, I don't have anybody else ready for you yet. I'm sorry.
Okay. What does it say? Meeting is being, yeah, I assume, okay.
These are 23 HR 12766 A, B, C, and D. These are Huron Township versus Desiree Courts. May I have your appearances, please?
Caitlin Foley Carter, on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Justin Barnett appearing on behalf of Desiree Courts.
State your name for me, please, ma'am.
You have to unmute.
Okay,
Okay.
there you go. Okay. Desiree Courts.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the arraignment, pretrial, and pre-hearing. Mr. Barnett, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, for arraignment purposes, we'll waive any formal reading and stand mute. And then I believe the prosecutor is asking for an adjournment. I'll let her make that request.
That is correct, Your Honor. The people are seeking a brief adjournment so that I can reach out to the other parties involved.
And we have no objection to that, Your Honor.
Ms. Courts, the court will set your bond at $3,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear with Mr. Barnett until this matter is resolved in its entirety. That adjourned pretrial date will be
February 20th at 8:50.
Your Honor, is there
February
another
20th?
date? Your Honor, I'm the MIDC attorney in Clarkston that day. Is there another date available?
March 14th at 8:50.
March 14th, 8:50. That works for me, Your Honor.
Thank you. March 14th at 8:50 back here, Ms. Courts, in courtroom number 1 by Zoom. Court staff will mail you that new date. Anything else, Mr. Barnett?
Nothing on my behalf.
Thank you. Ms. Courts, you have a good day. I'll see you in March.
All right, you as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, swipe to the right. Swipe to the right.
Good morning, Mr. Duncan.
Hello, Judge.
Murray, what prosecutor is your case? I'm trying to look.
I've got Huron Township. I've got Jill and Jeremy Kowalski at 8:45, and I'm also bringing in Jason Johnson, who's scheduled for 10 early. I was hoping I could handle him because I have a 10 o'clock hearing in Wayne County Circuit.
Okay, I'll put you in Caitlin's waiting room.
All right, thank you.
This is 20SU0002B, Sumter Township versus Chelsea Cooper. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Chelsea Cooper.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Richardala, 62186. MIDC Arraignment Counsel appearing on behalf of Mrs. Cooper. For purposes of arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stand mute. At this time, Ms. Cooper will be pleading responsible to one count of double parking with an agreed upon $350 fine.
Ms. Cooper, you were able to hear Mr. Jadala just now?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, it's accurate that you'd like to plead responsible to the added count of double parking with the dismissal of the misdemeanor matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the double parking, assess the fine of $350, dismiss the underlying misdemeanor offense. The court is able to apply the bond that you posted. Ma'am, do you need more than 5 days to pay the remaining balance?
Am I able to set up a payment arrangement for the remainder?
Absolutely, ma'am. Please contact the court's collection department. You can do that from the court's website. There's a contact us button. You can call
Yes,
and
ma'am.
speak to a collections representative, or you can come in person, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cooper, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your help.
Mr. Heasley?
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Not seeing the Espinosas as of yet, but I just wanted to let you know that I do see you.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
No problem. I do have another appointment a little bit after this, but I can hold back for a little while.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Okay, am I in the, okay,
You're in the right place, sir. Give me one moment.
okay, okay, you're good. Last time I did this, I think I hit the wrong thing, so.
You did. Last time you left too early. Marianne, did you get plea forms from Mr. Young?
No, I did not.
Okay. Mr. Dancho, I know the last time you were here, you were supposed to plead. Oh, here he is. Thank you, Mr. Young. 23SU 01475 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Albert Dancho. May I have your appearance, state your name for the record, please.
Albert Dancho.
Your Honor, Mr. Dancho indicated that we were before the court prior to today's date. I don't recall, but in any event, he indicated that he had tried to pay the ticket, one of them or both of them, I'm not sure. And he said that when he tried, he was told that it was a no-show and there was a default. Is there any way to check and see if there was another ticket associated with this case? And if so, we have to figure out what to do with it. If not, I'm willing to do it for parking for $175.
There was what happened in the, Mr. Dancho spoke with you when we were here on January 11th and left the session without coming back to put the plea on the record. So
Yeah.
I defaulted the A file civil infraction and set the B file expired license for show cause. Mr. Dancho talked to court staff immediately. So what we will do in the A file, Mr. Young, is and Mr. Dancho is set aside the default and dismiss the civil infraction.
All right, given all what
And
happened.
for the,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was just gonna say, in light of all the confusion and the like, and it was, precipitated by his inability, I guess, to get back in. I'll just deal with both cases at 175 double parking and call it a day.
Mr. Dancho, you've been able to hear the conversation between the court and the prosecutor for Sumter, Mr. Young?
Yeah, I heard the whole thing. So yeah, I apologize for the time before. I think I hit the wrong button and I left the group completely when I shouldn't have. So
Mr. Dancho, no apologies necessary. The Zoom is still a new and interesting thing to some people. They don't use it that often. Mistakes happen, but you reached out to court staff right away. And we understood that you were in fact here. And Mr. Dancho, do you still wish to plead responsible to the added count of double parking?
yes.
Then the court has already set aside the default as to the civil infraction. The court will accept your plea of responsible to the double parking, dismiss the original misdemeanor in this case, assess the fine of $175 as indicated by the prosecutor. Sir, do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Nope.
5 days to pay the 175, and that will conclude both matters. Anything else, Mr. Young?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
So that will be
Anything
for
else, Mr.
both.
Dancho?
So that will deal with both of the tickets, right?
Correct.
Okay, I appreciate it.
No worries, sir. Thank you for logging in and getting this matter resolved. You have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
This is 23SU 01468OT, Sumter Township versus Deborah Hollins. State your name for me, ma'am. You're muted.
Deborah Hollins.
Ms. Hollins, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving the right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had the chance to speak to Mr. Young, the prosecutor for Sumter?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Young, how are we proceeding?
Double parking, $350, Your Honor. The underlying charge is dismissed.
Ms. Hollins, you were able to hear Mr. Young just now?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, you wish to plead responsible to the added count of double parking with the dismissal of the misdemeanor driving while license suspended?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the added count of double parking. Will dismiss the original misdemeanor. Will assess the fine of $350. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Next Thursday.
So I'll say 7 days to pay. And Ms. Hollins, just so you're aware, you have two other outstanding unrelated matters with this court that date back to 2017. You owe the court a total of $972. These files are in warrant status. Please reach out to the court's collection department sooner rather than later to get these matters resolved, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, Ms. Hollins?
No, ma'am.
You're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Mr. Duncan, you said your client's name before, and I wasn't listening when you were talking to Mary Ann. Who are you here for?
Judge, I've got Jill Kowalski and her husband, Jeremy Kowalski. And I also have Jason Johnson.
Are any of your clients here?
I believe, I thought they were all there.
Okay, they're not on my screen, so let's,
I don't see him now either, Judge, so.
The Jason Johnson matter, Your Honor, is an adjournment, so we can probably handle that without his client.
Yes, Judge.
23 HR 107630D, Huron Township versus Jason Johnson. Excuse me, Mr. Duncan.
Hello, Your Honor. Murray Duncan appearing on behalf of defendant Jason Johnson.
Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
How long of an adjournment are we looking for?
Judge, I was told March 14th was available. I'm on vacation on your first open date or on your next available date.
March 14th at
9 o'clock.
9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else in the Johnson matter, Mr. Duncan?
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. And as for the Kowalskis?
Judge, I'll give them a call and see if they're having difficulty.
Oh, they're not scheduled till 8:50. Okay, thank you.
For one of your files.
Two three SU 00718 ABC 23 SU 00852OM 23 SU 01356 A and B. These are all Sumter Township versus Adam Cullen. May I have your appearances, please?
Your Honor, quickly, Samuel Jadala appearing on behalf of Mr. Cullen. I believe Mr. Young wanted to put something on the record for purposes of this case. If you could pass
Thank
until he returns into the room, I have no objection. Oh, here he is.
Here he is. Mr. Young,
Yeah.
Mr. Cullen's matters.
Cullen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Your Honor, there are a number of tickets, number of violations, I should say, and I've been having to work with the neighbors. This is Vicious Dog, doing everything I can to try and get this resolved without petitioning the court to put the dog down. So we're going to take one last crack at this. Mr. Jadala has indicated that his client will have the younger pit removed from the property permanently within 2 weeks. Apparently, there's some discussion going on with somebody that can take him, whatever the situation is. And he has 2 other dogs that remain, and those 2 other dogs, he has to keep those dogs on his property. It's causing problems in the neighborhood, so we have to get that taken care of. We'll be back at the next, what's the next date that I have that I'm before Your Honor? Is that the 14th?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be back on March 14th, and if all of this is taken care of, then I'll be as liberal and as gracious as I can. But I have to solve that problem with that vicious dog. I mean, this has got to come to an end. And Mr. Jadala indicated that that will in fact happen. If it doesn't, I'm petitioning the court and we'll deal with it at that point.
Mr. Cullen, what are the 2 other dogs?
There's a little Shih Tzu and a Rottweiler.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jadala, I was just making notes about what's removing and what's to stay on Mr. Cullen's property. March the 14th at?
I just wanted the court to know that that the representations made by Mr. Young are accurate, and I've communicated them to Mr. Cullen, and he does understand. We do understand March 14th to be the next court date.
At 9 o'clock.
Thank you. March 15th at 9 o'clock back here in Zoom on number 1. Is there anything else, Mr. Young?
March 14th, Judge. You said 15th.
What did I say? I made up a new date.
You said March 15th, but we know what you meant, Your Honor. It's March 14th at 9 o'clock for Mr. Cullen.
Thank
Right?
you, Mary Ann.
Thank you,
Anything
Judge.
else, Mr. Young?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further.
Mr. Jadala, I'm sorry. How does it? Nope, never mind. Thank you, Mr. Cullen. I'll see you in March.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
There's no arraignment, but there's a final pretrial. I don't know how that works. Mr. Johnson, I think we already adjourned your case.
Yes, Judge, I've been trying to text him, but he hasn't gotten my text. Mr. Johnson, your case has been heard and you're free to leave the meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you.
These are 23SU015559 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Watson. Please state your names for the record.
Crystal Maria Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson, would you please state your full name for the record, sir?
Yes, this is Bernardo Watson.
Your Honor, I did have the opportunity to speak with Attorney Young, and at this time, Your Honor, the offer is for the 2 original charges to be dismissed with a plea of responsible by Mr. Watson to double parking in the amount of $250, Your Honor.
Mr. Watson, you were able to hear Ms. Medina just now?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you wish to enter a plea of responsibility to the added count of double parking, understanding that the original charge of expired license and the civil infraction of speeding would be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's how you wish to proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the double parking, assess the fine of $250 and dismiss the original charges. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $250?
Yes, if I could have a payment plan, would
Then
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Mr. Watson, what you will need to do is go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on that, it will drop down and you can submit a request for a payment plan that way. Or you may call the court and speak to the collections department. Final way, you may come in person, speak to a member of the court's collections staff and set a payment plan, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Anything
Thank
else,
you.
Ms. Medina?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Watson, you're free to go. You have a good day. Please be in contact with the collections department.
You too, thank you.
These are 23HR016280M and 23HR016290M. These are Huron Township versus Jeremy Kowalski and Jill Kowalski. May I have your names for the record, please?
Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
Hello, Your Honor, Murray Duncan, appearing on behalf of Jill Kowalski and Jeremy Kowalski.
Please unmute yourself and state your names.
Jill Kowalski.
Jeremy Kowalski.
Thank you. This is the final pretrial. Mr. Duncan, how are we proceeding?
Judge, I talked to the prosecutor and it's going to be recommended to the court that my clients be allowed to plead no contest. There's possible civil liability. This was written under a safety ordinance. And it would be taken under 771 for a period of 6 months. My clients do wish to take advantage of that.
Thank you. Mr. Kowalski, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you've given in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Duncan, and it's your understanding and agreement that you will be tendering a no contest plea to the charge of violation of technical requirements of the township.
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to enter the no contest plea?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, because of the possibility of civil liability, Mr. Duncan has indicated that this is a no contest plea. Do you stipulate and agree that the township had probable cause to issue the citation in question?
I'm sorry.
My client, Judge, may I please?
Absolutely.
Mr. Kowalski, this is a no contest plea. Do you stipulate that the judge can take a look at the ticket and deem that the allegations are true for purposes of the no contest plea?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kowalski, please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You put your hand down. Ma'am, you understand that the court accepts your no contest plea this morning. You will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you stipulate and agree that the township had a factual basis to issue the citation in this matter?
Yes.
Mr. Duncan, the court will accept your client's no contest pleas to the citations issued. The pleas will be taken under advisement for a period of 6 months pursuant to 771.1. Costs will be assessed in the amount of $300 on both matters. Ms. Foley Carter, does the township require anything further of either of these parties?
Yes, Your Honor, the people are recommending the only condition to be that they remove the gravel from their stormwater drain.
Anything else, ma'am?
That's it, Your Honor.
Within that 6 months, or is there some shorter period requested?
Within the 6 months is fine. I believe that they intend on doing it as quick as possible, but given the 6 month in light of the freezing conditions.
Anything else, Mr. Duncan?
No, Judge, thank you.
Mr. and Ms. Kowalski, do you need more than 5 days to pay the $300?
No, Your Honor.
5 days to pay, 6 months, no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan, and remove the gravel from the stormwater drain. That concludes these matters. Good luck to you both. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Give me 1 second, sir.
Then, Your Honor, we'll be ready to go on
This
Mr.
is,
Oh, go, I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Hadley. When I see somebody, I pull the case. I was just waiting for you to pop back. That's all.
No problem. I just need to confirm one thing with Mr. Young right before we go on the record with Mr. Berg.
Absolutely, sir. Mr. Jadala is in with Espinoza, but the interpreter is here with me.
It's a different
So,
first name.
Is a different one? Thank you.
so Miss Jessica Espinosa, Your Honor, I just spoke with, that's one of Mr. Bowditch's. We do not need an interpreter for her. I believe it's Herman Espinoza with a Z.
Thank you, sir.
I think. And Mr. Young, if I could just get a 30-second audience with you to confirm one thing on Mr. Bird.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
So I need to go into, are we in a breakout room now or what?
No, let me move, I'll
Oh, I
move
see.
us
Okay,
both.
we'll go in there. Sure. I'm going in.
All right.
23SU010130D, Sumter Township versus Terrence Burt. Your names for the record, please.
Robert Young, Your Honor, on behalf of Sumter Township.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing, where'd my video go? Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Terrence Byrd, who's appearing via Zoom. Mr. Byrd, please state your name for the court.
Terrence Jerome Byrd.
Thank you.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor,
Mr. Hadley, this is the arraignment pretrial. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll waive the formal reading of the arraignment, and we would like to avail ourselves of the people's plea offer at this time, whereby the pending charge of operating while intoxicated will be reduced to an operating while visibly impaired. Mr. Byrd will plead guilty to the reduced charge.
Thank you. Mr. Burt, raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. You had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Hadley. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your desire this morning to plead guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired and the original charge of operating while intoxicated would be dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, I understand.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
And Mr. Burr, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, I am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on September the 6th, 2023 in Sumter Township, you operated a motor vehicle while you were visibly impaired?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Byrd, is it true that at the time you encountered the police on that day and time, you had a blood alcohol content of 0.138?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Young?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Byrd, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the operating while visibly impaired. Inasmuch as this is your arraignment date as well, there had not previously been bond set. Your bond is $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear and participate in these proceedings until this case is resolved. Inasmuch as this charge is one involving drinking and driving, sir, the next step is that you will be referred to the probation department for the development of a sentence recommendation. Probation will be in contact with you by phone and email. Please respond to their emails. Please respond to their phone calls. Is there anything else in this matter, Mr. Young?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Byrd, if it was not clear before, there is no alcohol purchased, possessed, or consumed until further order of the court. I will see you back here on your sentencing date, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are we ready with Mr. Bennett?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is 23HR136410D. This is Huron Township versus Bennett. State your names for the record, please.
Your Honor, respectfully, Samuel Jadala and Mr. Bennett, for purposes of arraignment, we waive formal reading and stand mute. Respectfully request discovery and a pretrial on this matter, Judge.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett, did you state your name, sir? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Travis Bennett.
Thank you. Mr. Bennett, the court will set your bond at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or mood altering, non-prescribed substances. I said that inartfully. Until further order of the court. I'll make a notation that discovery's been requested. The adjourned pretrial date will be
February 20th at 9:20.
at 9:20.
Thank you, Judge.
Back here in courtroom number 1, Mr. Bennett, notice will be mailed to you at the address you verified for court staff this morning. Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Bennett, you're free to go. You have a good day. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Can I speak with my court, with the defender, or with my court appointed, defender for a moment?
If he's, yes, Mr. Bennett, you can go back in the same room you were in. Mr. Young?
I'm sorry. Yes, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Mays waiting for you or is he
Yep.
just hanging out?
No, I'm going in there. I just had to grab something. Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you. This is 20HR 03478A. This is Huron Township versus Aaron Craddock. May I have your names for the record, please?
Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Craddock. Mr. Craddock, would you please state your full name for the record, sir?
Aaron James Leon Craddock.
Thank you. Ms. Medina, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, at this time, Mr. Craddock is prepared to plead guilty as charged to DWLS. Your Honor, we have reviewed his right to go to trial in this matter and the collateral license ramifications, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Craddock, would you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Medina. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, sir, you wish to plead guilty as charged to driving while license was suspended, revoked, or denied.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
I understand.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, is it true that on May the 8th, 2020 in Huron Township, you were driving a motor vehicle while your license was suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Craddock, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the driving while license suspended. Have you since resolved your license issue?
No, I haven't, ma'am.
Are your matters with other courts or is it just here, sir?
There's matters with other courts.
Do you have a list of where you need to go to clear up your driver's license issues?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Your Honor, I know that
Mr. Craddock.
he does have some things pending in 33rd, and my understanding is he is appearing there tomorrow.
The court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. It's a $100 fine, $100 in costs. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, $20 fund fee, $50 warrant fee. Mr. Craddock, you may reach out to the court's collection department. You can do that from the court's website. You can call or you can come in person and they will help you set a payment plan in this matter. There is $395 due for this case. You have some other outstanding matters, Mr. Craddock, where you owe the court money on some other violations. And then there is a 2016 case, Mr. Craddock. It is 1634380M. This is City of Romulus versus Aaron Craddock. This case is in warrant status, has been in warrant status since December 27th, 2023. When you fail to appear for the pre-trial, so Mr. Craddock, what the court will do is recall the warrant in this case and schedule this matter for pre-trial with the Romulus prosecutor.
I'm looking, Judge.
I know, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Craddock, this is a larceny under $200 from July 22nd, 2016. You had previously been arraigned in this matter and then did not appear. We'll reset bond in this matter at 2,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you do need to do is appear for a pretrial date.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there. I had COVID.
February 15th at 8:30.
February 15th at 8:30, and staff will mail notice to you at the address you verified this morning. Okay, Mr. Craddock?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That concludes this matter, sir. You're free to go. You have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
23 HR 11148, Huron Township versus Donald Anthony Mack. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. William Mays on behalf of Mr. Mack.
Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
State your name, please, Mr. Mack.
Your Honor, Donald Mack.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Mays, how are we proceeding?
All right. We have resolved this case, Your Honor. The prosecutor and I have agreed to, and the officer, double parking, $400.
Mr. Mack, you're able to hear Mr. Mays just now?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's how you like to proceed.
Yes, please.
The court accepts your plea of responsible to the double parking. Will impose a fine of $400, or do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
I do not.
5 days to pay. Anything else in this matter, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Mays?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mack. That concludes this matter, sir. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You as well.
Thank you. These are 23SU01574 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Tammy Washkovitz. May I have your appearances, please?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm
Oh,
here.
nope, never mind.
Oh, well, Judge, I think we just lost the prosecutor, but William Mays on behalf of Ms. Washkevich. Tammy, state your name, please.
Tammy Valin Waskevich.
And Your Honor, we have reached a resolution on this case. She is currently charged with OWI. The prosecutor and I have worked out a plea agreement to operating while visibly impaired. Last night, I went over an advice of rights form with my client, as well as the maximum possible penalty for operating while visibly impaired, and some of the collateral consequences, such as entry into Canada and driver's license sanctions. Understanding and I also have full discovery on this case. Understanding all that, I believe that my client is inclined to accept the plea. Is that right, Ms. Washkevich?
Yes, sir.
As for the second citation, the open talks, Mr. Mays?
You know, Judge, we did not even address that. I believe that it's supposed to be dismissed.
I don't have anything for Mr. Young, so if you don't mind, sir, we'll pass the matter
We can pass.
momentarily.
Yep.
We can confirm that. Ms. Espinoza, these are 23HR 1597 ABC and D 23HR 11536 A and B. These are all Huron Township versus Jessica Espinoza. Please state your names for the record.
Jessica Espinoza.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Jessica Espinoza.
Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding in these matters this morning?
Thank you, Your Honor. I had a chance to speak with the prosecutor, Ms. Carter, Foley Carter, on this matter, and they've agreed to allow us an additional adjournment. Ms. Espinoza did file with the Secretary of State a request for a hearing that would hopefully clear up the driver's license issue. We have not yet received a date on that, so we would be asking for a 4-week approximately adjournment on this matter.
Judge, I have,
Marianne?
yep, April 11th at 8:40.
April 11th at 8:40?
Very good, Your Honor.
Is that sufficient time for,
It would be, Your Honor, based on the representations Ms. Espinosa's made from when she submitted the request for hearing date. We certainly should have a scheduled date by April 11th.
April 11th? Is that Judge Green?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Judge Green, in number 3, anything else in these matters, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Espinoza. April 11th at 8:40 a.m. with Judge Green on Zoom in number 3. Have a good day, ma'am.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. What happened to? I don't know what happened to Mr. Mays. Mr. Young, we were trying to confirm that in the Waskovich matter, were you dismissing the open intoxicant vehicle? You're muted, sir.
Apologize to the court. Yes, I was, Your Honor.
Thank you. As soon as he comes back, we'll finish up with that one. This is 23SU015980M, Sumter Township versus Carolyn Pate. Ma'am, please state your name for the record.
Carolyn Michelle Pate.
Ms. Pate, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Young, the prosecutor?
Yes, I have.
Mr. Young, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, this is a charge. Apparently there was on 2 different occasions, her horses got outside of a fenced area, but over the last couple of months, the fenced area has been repaired. The horses are also put up in the barn at night, so we have not had any incidences. So willing to treat this as a learning experience, but I indicated if another ticket is issued, we're going to have to move forward with something else. So I move to dismiss and we'll go from there.
Any objection to this case being dismissed, ma'am?
No.
It's dismissed. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. These are 23 HR 12445 A, B, C, and D. These are Huron Township versus Emily Farley. May I have your appearances, please?
Caitlin Foley Carter in Huron Township, Your Honor.
Attorney Josh Hadley, on behalf of the defendants, Miss Emily Farley. Miss Farley, please state your name.
Emily Elizabeth Farley.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, after having a conversation with Ms. Foley Carter about this matter, it's our understanding the people's position as that the defendant has complied with the animal control and police's directives. Accordingly, the matters will be dismissed without prejudice, I believe, at this time.
Thank you. These matters are hereby dismissed. Anything else, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. You have a good day. Good luck to you.
You too.
Thank you. Back on the record in 23SU 1574 A and B. Mr. Mays, the court did confirm with Mr. Young. Ms. Waskovich, would you unmute yourself, raise your right hand, and state, and do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You may put your hand down. Ma'am, you, as indicated by Mr. Mays, you had the opportunity to discuss this matter with him and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, ma'am, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it true that on December 21st, 2023, in Sumter Township, you operated a motor vehicle while you were visibly impaired by some intoxicant?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it your understanding and agreement that the citation issued in this matter shows a blood alcohol content of 0.144?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mays, would you like to inquire further of your client?
No, I think that's adequate.
Thank you. Ms. Washkovich, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired. The original charge of operating while intoxicated is dismissed along with the B file of open intoxicants in the vehicle. Ma'am, inasmuch as this was the first appearance in this matter, there had not previously been bond set. Your bond is set at 5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to participate in these proceedings until they are resolved in their entirety. Condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages during the pendency of this matter. Because this is a drinking and driving offense, the next step in these proceedings is that the case is referred to the probation department. They will interview you, develop a sentence recommendation, and schedule you to return to court to have that sentence imposed. They will be in contact with you through phone and email. Please respond to their emails and please respond to their phone calls. Is there anything else in this matter this morning, Mr. Mays?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. That concludes this matter, ma'am. Good luck to you. You have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Judge, not to interrupt, but do we also have Patrick Callahan in the room? He's texting me and indicating that he's having some issue. He's not sure.
He's checked in somewhere. I've seen him. He's in with our court clerk, probably trying to verify his contact information.
Okay, all right. That's just an adjournment, but whenever we're ready. Thanks, Judge.
These are 2-3 SU 1585 A, B, and C. These are Sumter Township versus Syrup.
Yep.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sam Richardala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Sir.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Jeremiah Serb.
Sir, thank you. Mr. Jadala, how are we proceeding this morning?
And after speaking with the city attorney, Your Honor, we just respectfully requesting this matter be set for a pretrial. He will be providing me discovery. We understand that the new court date will be March 14th.
As for the arraignment, sir?
We waive formal reading and stand mute, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, the court will set your bond in this matter at 5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Because there's an allegation that you were operating a motor vehicle with blood alcohol content of 0.17, the condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages until further order of the court. Your adjourned pretrial date will be
March 14th at 9:10.
March 14th at 9:10 a.m. back here in number 1 with me. Court staff will mail notice of this new date and time to you at the address you verified this morning. Is there anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. You're free to go, sir. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. These are 2-3 SU 01445 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Michelle Diaz. Please state your names for the record.
Michelle Diaz.
And Crystal Ray Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Miss Michelle Diaz.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. How are we proceeding with this pretrial?
Your Honor, we would just need an adjourned pretrial date to review discovery, Your Honor.
March 14th at 9:10.
March 14th at 9:10, back here at number 1 with me. Is there anything else, Mr. Young?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Medina?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Diaz, you're free to go. I'll see you back here on March 14th at 9:10 a.m. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. These are 23HR 10630 A and B. These are Huron Township versus Gill. Please state your names for the record.
Caitlin Foley Carter, I'm just here on Township, Your Honor.
And Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Gill. Mr. Gill, would you please say your full name for the record, sir?
Goshen Gill.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Ms. Medina, how are we proceeding with this arraignment and pretrial?
Your Honor, Mr. Gill has taken steps to get in compliance. We need just a little bit more time, and so we would ask for an adjourned pretrial date.
February 20th at 9:30.
Your Honor, if I could get a little bit longer because everything's a muddy mess. Every
Yeah.
time you take my machine into the
Sir,
area, it gets
sir,
stuck.
I got it. Your Honor, we had anticipated that he would also have the March 14th date so that he would have some more time.
March 14th at 9:20.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. March 14th at 9:20. Ms. Medina, Mr. Gill had not been arraigned in this matter. You're having him stand mute to the charges?
Yes, Your Honor, we would waive formal reading and stand mute.
Thank you. Mr. Gill, your bond in this matter is set at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this case is resolved in its entirety. I will see you back here on March the 14th at 9:20 a.m. Good luck to you, sir. You have a good day.
You too, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Young or Robert, I'm gonna head into your breakout room if you got a minute. Got another one up.
Two four HR 0628 A and B. These are Huron Township versus Patrick Callahan. May I have your names for the record?
Caitlin Foley Carter, I'm based here on Township, Your Honor.
And good morning, Your Honor. William Mays on behalf of Mr. Callahan. Mr. Callahan, unmute yourself and turn your video on, please. Mr. Callahan? Maybe we can pass on this one. I also have Olivia Moylan. That's also an adjournment, Your Honor.
Okay, can you hear me?
There we go.
Yes, sir.
I'm
State
sorry.
your name for me, please. No
Patrick,
worries.
sorry about that. Patrick Richard Callahan.
Thank you. Mr. Mays, what are we doing with this arraignment and pretrial, sir?
Your Honor, the prosecuting attorney got me some discovery the other day. I've had a little bit of difficulty with the videos. I'm still reviewing those, so I would ask that this matter be adjourned over.
The arraignment and the pretrial?
You know, it doesn't matter. We can just schedule it for another pretrial. And in terms of the arraignment, I'd ask the court to enter a not guilty plea and waive any reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mays. Mr. Callahan, your bond is set at 5,000 personal. You don't need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this matter is resolved in its entirety. I'm sorry, Mary Ann, the new date is?
February 20th at 9:30.
February 20th at 9:30. Mr. Callahan, back here in number one with me. Staff will mail notice of that new date and time to the address you verified this morning. Anything else in this case, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Mays?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Callahan, you have a good day. I'll see you in a few weeks, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Callahan, you can log off.
These are 23 HR 11668 A and B. These are Huron Township versus Herman Espinoza. These cases were scheduled at 8:40. There is an interpreter who has been here. The defendant has failed to appear on this matter. It's now 9:46. The civil infractions will be deemed in default, and the misdemeanors will be set for show cause. Is there anything else, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Heasley. Thank you for your attendance this morning, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The person who's identified as MGAGIN, please join the breakout room.
Nope, that's Caitlin, not Caitlin, Mackenzie.
No, porque podía salir del cuarto, pero no.
Oh,
No.
señor, tiene su audio en alta voz. Ponlo en mute, por favor, mientras que esperemos.
This is 23SU00992A, Sumter Township versus Sarah Poyer. Take your
Hi,
cap
how
off,
are you?
sir.
Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Sarah Poirier. Ma'am, would you please say your full name for the record?
Sarah Ann Poyer.
Thank you. Ms. Medina, how are you proceeding with this pretrial?
Your Honor, similarly on this case, we need additional time regarding discovery issues, and so we would ask for an adjourned pretrial date.
Already spoken to, we can take it, I think it's all these folks here.
March 14th, Judge, at 9:30.
March 14th at 9:30, back here in number 1.
Thank
Anything
you.
else, Ms. Medina?
No, Your Honor, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. Notice of this new date will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. And ma'am, you have some other outstanding matters with this court?
Yes.
Okay. Other than that, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you.
These are 23SU01600 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Cesar Barrios Merida.
Están llamando tu caso, César Barrio Merida, el 23SU01600A y B.
Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Barrios. Your Honor, I would ask my client to unmute his mic and state his full name for the record.
Por favor, prende tu micrófono y di tu nombre completo.
César Guillermo Barrios Mérida.
César
you,
Guillermo
Mr.
Barrio Mérida.
I'm sorry, Mr. Caceres, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that you will translate English into Spanish and Spanish into English to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Medina, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I did have the opportunity to speak with Attorney Young. At this time, it would be a dismissal of the 2 original charges. In exchange, Mr. Barrios would plead responsible to an added count of double parking in the amount of $400. I was able to speak to him directly regarding this matter in his foreign and native language.
Ok, habló con el fiscal y entonces el fiscal está dispuesto a descartar las dos acusaciones originales y tú te vas a declarar responsable de haber estacionadote doblemente. Esto va a conllevar una multa de $200.
Okay.
He is able to pay that fine today, Your Honor.
Y él puede pagar esa multa hoy.
Mr. Barrios, do you wish to plead guilty? I'm sorry. Do you wish to plead responsible to the added count of double parking?
Ok, señor Barrios, ¿tú estás dispuesto a declararte responsable de haberte estacionado doble?
Sí, estoy de acuerdo.
Yes, I agree.
Plea is accepted. Fine of $400 assessed.
Aceptan tu declaración y te están imponiendo una multa de $400.
Ok, perfecto.
Ok, perfect.
5 days to pay.
Tienes 5 días para pagarlo.
Ok, la forma para pagarlo, ¿cómo lo voy a hacer?
How would I pay it?
In person or online.
Puedes pagarlo en persona o en línea.
¿Hay algún, en dónde lo voy a pagar?
Where do I have to pay it?
Your Honor, if you'd like, I can, if I'm able to put him in a room with me, I will explain a little bit more.
Te van
Thank
a
you, Ms.
poner en
Medina.
otro cuarto y tu abogado te lo va a explicar ya que ella habla español.
I'm not having the option to move him from the main session. If you guys could do me a favor of putting him in my room, that would be great.
Yep, I will.
Thank you so much, Mayor.
Ahí te van a poner. ¿Ok?
Ok, muchas gracias.
Gracias. May I leave, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Caceres. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too. These are 24HR00237 AMD. These are Huron Township versus Austin Yarborough. May I have your appearances, please?
Hello,
Your Honor, I'm not sure if Mr. Yarborough has spoken to MIDC yet. He was in the waiting room. I'm not sure if he needs to be back in the waiting room.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to
Thank you,
nobody
sir.
yet.
Your Honor, if you could move him into my meeting room, I'll speak to him next once I put Mr. Wood's case on the record. Thank you.
These are two for HR 0057 A, B, and C, Huron Township versus Dexter Wood. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Wood. Your Honor, for purposes of arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stay mute. At this time, Your Honor, Mr. Wood would be pleading to one count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive. The violation of the restricted license is being dismissed. The impeding traffic and no proof of insurance are also being dismissed pursuant to the plea, Judge.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Jadala. You said the plea is as to what?
The violation of the restricted license is being reduced to allowing an unlicensed driver to drive.
Thank you. I got the rest of it, Mr. Jadala. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
Mr.
good.
Wood, would you raise your right hand for me, please, sir?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala this morning, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, after having that conversation, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll tender a plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive. The original misdemeanor and the two civil infractions will be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty, sir, because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wood, is it true that on January 2nd, 2024 in Huron Township, you allowed an unlicensed driver to drive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive, will dismiss the original misdemeanor violation of restricted license along with the two civil infractions of impeding traffic and no proof of insurance. Mr. Jadala, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client before fines and costs are imposed?
Your Honor, that my client was previously on probation and he successfully completed probation. He was just under the impression that the restricted license was a condition of probation and not an independent restriction from the Secretary of State. He fully understands that now, Your Honor. He is going to be a lot more careful in how he operates his vehicle moving forward.
Thank you. Mr. Wood, the court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. It's a $100 fine. There's $100 in costs. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 mandatory state costs and $20 fund fee. That's $345. Sir, do you need more than 5 days to pay this amount?
No, Your Honor.
5 days to pay, and that will resolve the matters in their entirety. Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. You're free to go. You have a good day, sir. Thank you for your patience this morning.
Thank you so much. You have a blessed day.
You too. These are two for HR 00813 A and B, Huron Township versus Olivia Moylan. May I have your appearances, please?
Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
And good morning, Your Honor. William Mays on behalf of Ms. Moylan. Ms. Moylan, state your name, please.
My name is Olivia Moylan.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mays, how are we proceeding with these arraignment pretrial?
We will waive reading on the arraignment and ask the court to enter a not guilty plea. I have not received discovery yet from the prosecuting attorney's office. We're waiting on that. So I'd ask that this matter be adjourned over.
Thank you. Ma'am, inasmuch as this is your first appearance and the allegations that you're operating a motor vehicle in excess of the posted speed with a blood alcohol content of 0.216, the court will set as a condition of your bond that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcohol during the pendency of this matter or until further order of the court. Discovery requested. that adjourned pretrial date will be
February 20th at 9:30.
February 20th at 9:30, back here in number 1 with me. Is there anything else, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Mays?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much. And that completes all the cases I've got with you this morning. So have a great day.
Thank you. You too, ma'am. You're free to go. I'll see you on February 20th.
Thanks, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Borman, I see you. Give me 1 second to pull your client's file. These are 24HR00642 and 24HR00045. These are both Huron Township versus Danny Engel. May I have your appearances, please?
Caitlin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
May it please the Honorable Court, Gilbert Borman, P37642. How are you today, Judge?
I am super. How are you, sir?
Better than ever.
Thank you. Mr. Engel, if you would state your name for me, please, sir.
Danny Richard Engel.
Thank you. Mr. Borman, how are we proceeding with these arraignment pretrials?
Well, learned counsel and I have decided that an adjournment would be in order here so that we might be able to focus on the underlying zoning issues attendant to the charges themselves. So we've agreed to put things out to March 14th and that we will then return to the court and report on our progress.
At 9:30, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Engel, you'll return here to courtroom number 1 on March the 14th at 9:30 a.m. back on Zoom. Is there anything else, Mr. Borman?
Thanks, Judge. Have a nice day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
These are 23SU01309A, B, and 23SU01279A, B, and C. These are all Sumter Township versus Austin Brothers. May I have your appearances, please?
Robert Young, Sumter Township, Your Honor.
Morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley covering for Brother Counsel, Mr. Jeff Bowditch on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Austin Brothers. Mr. Brothers, please state your name for the court.
Austin Jeffrey Brothers.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding in these matters?
Your Honor, I'm going to be asking for an adjournment on this matter. It appears the prosecution and previously assigned counsel have exchanged discovery or are still in the process of Mr. Bowditch reviewing said discovery. We would just ask the matter be put out for several weeks.
March 14th at 9:40.
March 19th at 9:40, back here in number 1, Mr. Brothers, okay?
14, Judge. You said 19. 14.
March 14th. Thank you, Mary Ann. I just keep making up days today. March 14th at 9:40 a.m. I'll see you then, Mr. Brothers. You have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, did you speak to, I'm sorry, or Mr. Jadala, did somebody speak to Mr. Yarborough?
Your Honor, we're ready on Yarborough whenever the court is.
Thank you. 24HR00237 A and B, Huron Township versus Austin Yarborough. Please state your name for the record.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Yarborough. Your Honor, for purposes of today's arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stay in mute. Mr. Yarborough, please say your name one more time.
Austin Yarborough.
Your Honor, at this time, Mr.
Thank
Yarborough would like to avail himself to the plea whereby the no insurance matter is being dismissed and the operating while intoxicated is being reduced to operating while visibly impaired. Just so the court knows, Your Honor, it seems as if Mr. Yarborough, although wants to avail himself to the dismissal of the no insurance, may have already paid the no insurance. I'm not sure how the court can handle a situation like that.
He paid the no insurance?
That's what he advised me he's done already. Yes, Your Honor. He thought he had to.
I don't see that, Mr. Yarborough. I see the matter having been set for today.
Yeah, I've just paid it today, like this morning.
Judge, I don't see anything yet on that.
Did you pay it online, Mr. Yarborough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Yarborough, raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Jadala this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your desire this morning to plead guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, is it true that on January 6, 2024 in Huron Township, you operated a motor vehicle while you were visibly impaired by some intoxicant?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired, dismiss the original charge of operating while intoxicated, along with the civil infraction of no insurance. Mr. Jadala, I'll have to get with Mary Ann and cashiers about how to either reject or move that payment. Mary Ann, I don't know how that'll work out. And Mr. Yarborough, although this is your first appearance, although you've entered a plea to the operating while visibly impaired, this was your first appearance, so you had not had bond set yet. Your bond in this matter is $5,000 personal. You don't need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear and participate as directed by the court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Because this is a drinking and driving offense, the court is referring the matter to probation for a pre-sentence interview. So they will call you and email you at the address and email that you verified with court staff this morning. Please respond to their emails and their phone calls after you have the interview with Mr. Grant, this court's probation agent. He will schedule the matter for you to return to this courtroom and have sentence imposed. Is there anything else in this matter, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further from me, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Yarborough, you're free to go, sir. You have a good day. Good luck to you.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge,
Go ahead.
They're gone. It's going to be voided at 2:20.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
This is 24HR002070M. This is Huron Township versus Alexis Taylor. Ma'am, please turn your video on, unmute yourself and state your name for the record.
Alexis Taylor.
Ms. Taylor, the way court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ma'am, have you had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Foley Carter, the prosecutor for the township?
Yes.
Ms. Foley Carter, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. Caitlin Foley Carter in Huron Township. Ms. Taylor will be pleading guilty to the discharge of firearms charge under 771.1 for a term of 12 months. The officer did speak to the victim in the matter. I did advise Ms. Taylor that there's no restitution sought in the case.
Thank you. Ms. Taylor, raise your right hand for me, please, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and
Yes.
nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You may put your hand down. Ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ms. Taylor, is it true that on January 5th, 2024, in Huron Township, you discharged a firearm within the limits of the township?
I don't think it was, do I just say, yeah, I don't think it was January.
What did you do, ma'am?
It was 2 days before Christmas.
That's correct, Your Honor. The report does reflect that it's December 23rd. I see the citation is wrong.
So ma'am, is it true that on December 23rd, 2023, in Huron Township, you discharged a firearm contrary to
Yes.
law? Thank you. The court will accept your plea of guilty as charged. As indicated by the prosecutor, this plea is taken pursuant to 771.1, which means it's delayed for a period of 12 months. Ma'am, so long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan and you pay cost of $600, the case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal after that 12 months. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $600?
Yes.
Then ma'am, what you need to do is contact the court's collection department. You can do that one of three ways. You can go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on that, it'll drop down and you can submit a request for a payment plan. You can call the court, speak to the collections department, or you can come in person and speak to a collections agent and they'll set a payment plan. Is there anything else, Ms. Taylor?
So you said, how does it go? Like,
How does
no
which
contact
part
with
go?
no contact with the police, my 12 months?
No criminal offenses. I didn't say no contact, no new criminal cases. Because
Okay.
things might happen that bring you into contact with the police that aren't necessarily bad things.
Okay. And far as the firearm, like the release of it?
Oh, Ms. Foley Carter?
I believe that during the course of probation, Huron Township will hold on to the firearm, and once it's dismissed, she can go back to the department and obtain her firearm.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. Sherrod Chambers, please turn your video on. I'm sorry, ma'am. This is 22SU005870T, Sumter Township versus Sherrod Chambers. State your name for me, please.
Sherrod Chambers.
Mr. Chambers, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have the chance to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Young?
Yes.
Did you reach some agreement with him, sir?
Yes.
What was that agreement, sir?
To plead to a lesser charge of double parking,
And a fine of?
$350.
And that's how you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Mr. Chambers, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the double parking, dismiss the driving while license suspended, assess the fine of $350. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Yes, I'm actually already on the payment plan with the court. I was wondering if would it be added to the rest of the balance, I guess.
You can do that, sir. You need to be in contact with the court's collection department. You can go online and do that, or you can call the court, or you can come in person.
To make a payment?
And just so we're clear, there had been a warrant in this case for your failure to appear back in 2022. We are recalling the warrant. I'm sorry, you were asking a question.
I was asking would I have to, is that the only way I had to make a payment is if I show up in the court?
No, sir. I said you can go online to the court's website.
Okay.
There's a contact us button. You click on that button, you can submit a request for a payment plan that way. or you can call the court and ask to speak to someone in the collections
No, I'm,
department and they'll be
I'm
able to
currently,
add.
I'm currently already on, like, started a process, in the process of a payment plan.
I understand that, sir, but what I'm saying is you still have to call the collection department to tell them that you want to add this to that
Okay.
payment plan.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Anything else, Mr. Chambers?
No.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too, Honor.
Thank you. These are 23 SU 01379 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Desmond Hughes Weaver.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, covering for Mr. Jeff Bowditch, attorney of record, who will remain attorney of record. This is on behalf of Desmond Hughes Weaver. Mr. Weaver, there you are. Please state your name for the record.
Desmond Hughes Weaver.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, these cases were scheduled for arraignment pre-trial. How are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, will waive the formal reading of the arraignment when asked the court to enter a PR bond. And as to the pre-trial matter, my understanding from my conversation with the prosecution is they're asking for an adjournment to contact the complainant about any potential restitution claims.
Mr. Hughes Weaver, your bond in these matters is set at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until these cases are resolved.
March 14th at 9:40.
9:40. Mr. Hughes Weaver, your pretrial is set for March the 14th at 9:40 a.m. back here on Zoom in courtroom number 1. Mr. Hadley, is there anything else in this matter?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You are free to go. You have a good day. I'll see you on March the 14th.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. These are 24 SU 00020 A and B, Sumter Township versus Sarah Owens. Please state your name for the record, ma'am.
Sarah Owens, Your Honor.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Mr. Jadala, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, respectfully, Samuel Jadala, appearing on behalf of Mrs. Owens. For purposes of arraignment, we're going to waive formal reading and stand mute. At this time, respectfully request discovery that I spoke with the city attorney about, as well as pretrial in this matter.
Thank you. Ms. Owens, your bond in this matter is set at 3,000 personal. You do not need to post any money. But what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this case is resolved in its entirety.
Yes, Your Honor.
March 14th, Judge at 9:40.
Thank you. Ms. Owens, your pretrial in this case will be set for March the 14th at 9:40 a.m. back here in number 1. Court staff will mail notice of that new date and time to you at the address you verified this morning. Mr. Young, is there anything else in this matter? He's gone. Mr. Jadala, anything else in this matter?
Nothing further, Judge. No.
Thank you. Ms. Owens, you're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, we're also ready on Lewis if the court was ready.
You're also ready on?
Lewis, I'm sorry, Judge. Lewis?
Mr. Hayes, I'll call your cases next. These are 23SU01601 A and B. Sumter Township versus Lewis. Mr. Lewis, please state your name for the record, sir.
Moriarty Lewis.
Thank you. Mr. Jadala, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, respectfully, Samar Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Lewis. For purposes of arraignment, we're waiving formal reading and staying mute. At this time, Mr. Lewis will be pleading responsible to one count of double parking for $350. The other original two matters are being dismissed, Judge.
Mr. Lewis, you had a chance to speak to Mr. Jadala this morning. Do you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you'll tender a plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and the original equipment violation and misdemeanor driving while license suspended would be dismissed?
Yes.
And that's how you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the added count of double parking, dismiss the original charges, assess the fine of $350, sir. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Yes.
Then, Mr. Lewis, what I will ask you to do, sir, is to contact the court's collection department. You can either call them, you may come in person and speak to somebody, or you can go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. If you click on that, it'll drop down to submit a request for a payment plan. Please do that. One of three ways, set a payment plan in these matters, $350 for double parking. Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis, you have a great day. Thank you for your patience.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. These are 23SU01545 A, B, and C. These are Sumter Township versus Travis Pogarski. Your appearance, sir.
Your Honor, good morning to you and your staff. Mr. Vincent Hayes appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Pogarski, who's present via Zoom with no objection to appearing remotely.
Thank you. Sir, state your name for me, please.
Travis Pogarski.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes, how are we proceeding with these arraignment pretrials?
Your Honor, as to the arraignment, waive formal reading, stand my client mute. We've pre-tried the matter. There's going to be 2 added counts of double parking. All 3 original counts will be dismissed. My client will tender a plea of responsible to the same and can pay the negotiated $400 fine today.
Is it 400 twice?
I believe it's 400 total, but maybe I was unclear on that.
Mr. Haysha will do 400 in the B file, which is the misdemeanor file, and dismiss the other 2. Mr. Pogarski, you were able to speak to Mr. Haysha this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's your understanding after having that conversation that you'll tender a plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and the original charges of the speeding, the registration or plate violation, the driving while license suspended would be dismissed?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's how you wish to proceed?
Yep.
Yes?
Yes. Sorry.
Thank you. Sir, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the double parking. Will dismiss the misdemeanor and the 2 original civil infractions. Will assess a fine of $400. Mr. Haysha, does your client need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
He can pay it today, Your Honor.
5 days to pay. Is there anything else in this matter, Mr. Haysha?
No, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may go online and pay, or you may pay in person. Other than that, you're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Mr. Keaton, please unmute yourself, turn your video on. These are 23SU00572 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Zachary Keaton.
Your Honor, once again, good morning to you and the staff. Vincent Hayes appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Keaton, who's present via Zoom with no objection.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Zachary Keaton.
Thank you. Mr. Hayes, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we need one final date. I know I'm a broken record with this. We've been back a number of times on this, but Mr. Young and I are in advanced negotiations. There's a stamp of approval that needs to be done from someone with a more important title than myself. So I'm asking that we come back on March 14th. I have no doubt at that point that there's going to be a favorable resolution for Mr. Keaton.
March 14th at
9:40.
That's fine.
at 9:40. Back here in number 1, Mr. Keaton, notice of this new date and time will be mailed to you at the address you verified with court staff, sir. Have a good day. You're free to go.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You, Rob.
Thank you.
See you guys. See you, Rob.
We're all set?
Yep.
Good morning, Mr. Vincent.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How have you been, sir?
Oh. But other
Have you
than that,
spoken to Mr. Young already, sir?
yes, Your Honor.
These are 23SU 01544 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Hannah
Giacalone. Giacalone.
Giacalone, thank you.
She has no relatives in Detroit.
Your appearance, please.
Michael Vincent, on behalf of Hannah Giacalone. Ms. Giacalone, say good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. Mr. Vincent, how are we proceeding this morning?
Yes, it'll be a double parking ticket, fine of $400, and the 2 pending cases will be dismissed.
Thank you. Ms. Giacalone, you were able to speak to Mr. Vincent this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, ma'am, you wish to plead responsible to the added count of double parking, understanding that the original charges of failing to stop at a stop sign and driving while license suspended would be dismissed.
Yes, Your Honor.
The court accepts your plea of responsible to the added count of double parking, will assess the fine of $400, dismiss the original misdemeanor and civil infraction. Do you
Thank
need
you.
more than 5 days to pay this amount?
No, I don't.
5 days to pay. Anything else, Mr. Young?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything
you,
else,
Mr.
Mr.
Young.
Vincent?
Nothing on Ms. Giacalone.
Thank you, Ms. Giacalone. You have a good day. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
What's wrong, Mr. Young?
Nothing, Your Honor. I'm just relaxing. Enjoying.
That's not a happy camper face.
No, I'm fine.
These are 23SU 01519. I'm sorry, 19 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Nicholas Robinson. Mr. Robinson, please turn your video on, unmute yourself and state your name for the record.
How you doing? My name is Nicholas Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Your Honor, date time set for pretrial in this matter, move to amend. Double parking, $350. The underlying charges would be dismissed upon that acceptance.
$300. They said.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I apologize. $300.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hadley, is this your case?
No.
Oh, no.
No, Your Honor, I'm just hanging out waiting to see if I have a 1020 who shows up.
No, Mr. Robinson's labeled like he spoke to MIDC.
Hey.
Mr. Robinson, you waived your right to have the assistance of the MIDC attorney, the court-appointed attorney this morning?
I didn't, but I will and represent myself if that'll be okay.
Absolutely. Sir, you spoke to Mr. Young, and it's your understanding that you tendered a plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and the driving while license suspended, and the equipment violation will be dismissed?
I spoke to a lady, can't remember her name, but for a double parking.
Mr. Robinson.
I do for the double parking for the $300. I will go for that.
Sir, I need you to stop moving around for a minute and just pay attention for just 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you spoke to Miss Medina this morning?
Yes.
Okay. And the agreement is responsible to the double parking and dismissal of the misdemeanor and the equipment violation.
Yes.
And that's how you wish to proceed.
To the double parking, yes.
Court will accept your plea of responsible to the double parking, assess the fine of $300, dismiss the driving while license suspended misdemeanor along with equipment violation. Sir, do you need more than 5 days to pay the $300?
Yeah.
Then, sir, what you need to do is contact the court's collection department.
Okay.
You may either call them, come in person, or go onto the court's website. There's a drop-down button that says contact us. You can submit a request for a payment plan. Other than that, you're free to go. You have a good day. Good luck to you.
That's 36 District Court, correct?
34, sir. 11129
34.
South Wayne Road, the city of Romulus.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good day. Two, three, SU 01586 OT, Sumter Township versus Mary Gagan. May I have your name for the record, ma'am?
Mary Gagan.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. And Crystal Marie Medina on behalf of Ms. Gagan. Your Honor, with regard to the arraignment, we would waive formal reading and stand mute. We'd ask for an adjourned pretrial date for discovery, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ma'am, in the interim, your bond is set at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is to continue to appear and participate in these proceedings until this case is resolved in its entirety. Your adjourned pretrial date will be
March 14th at 9:50.
Thank you, Your Honor.
March 14th at 9:50. Ma'am, court staff will mail notice of that new date and time to the address you verified this morning. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then, Your Honor, I see that Mr. Collins is still on, but I also had a Mr. Nicholas Robinson. Is he here?
Mr. Robinson took a plea to the
Okay.
double parking. The
Yep.
original charges were dismissed. He identified you as MIDC attorney, so I put your name in there, ma'am.
Perfect, thank you. Yep, it was a $300 fine. I just wanted to confirm it was all good.
Exactly. Mr. Collins, please unmute yourself, sir. This
Yes, ma'am.
is,
Good morning.
good morning, sir. This is 22SU 00491A, Sumter Township versus Collins.
Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins, would you please say your full name for the record, sir?
My name is Kevin Lamont Collins.
Your Honor, today, the offer here today is for a double parking in the amount of $350 with a dismissal of the original DWLS, and Mr. Collins will need to set up a payment plan, Your Honor.
Mr. Collins, you had the chance to speak to Ms. Medina this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you'll tender a plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and the original driving while license suspended would be dismissed?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the court will accept your plea of responsible to the double parking, dismiss that misdemeanor case, impose a fine of $350. The court is able to apply the bond that you've posted in this matter. And if you would like a payment plan for the balance, sir, you can do one of three things. You can either come in person to the court, speak to someone in the collections department. You may call and speak to someone in the collections department, or you can go onto the court's website. There's a drop-down button that says contact us. You can submit a request for payment plan that way.
Okay, I may go into the court, but if I don't, what is the email to get into the payment plan on the online? Is that 34
It's-
District Court?
Correct, sir.
And then it'll prompt me from there, right?
It's on in the upper right-hand corner, it says contact us. You click on that button, it'll drop down and you can submit a request for payment plan that way.
Okay, that's great. 34 District Court.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day,
you so
sir.
much. Thank you so much. And thank you, Medina.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, sir.
God,
These
God
are
bless you guys.
These are 24 HR 006 3, 9, A, B, C, and D. These are Huron Township versus Gary Radcliffe. Mr. Radcliffe, please state your name for me, sir.
Gary Allen Radcliffe.
Mr. Radcliffe, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
That is.
Have you had the chance to speak to Ms. Foley Carter, the prosecutor for Huron Township?
I did.
Ms. Foley Carter, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we'll be adjourning this matter. He'd like the opportunity to hire his own attorney.
Is that correct, Mr. Radcliffe?
That is correct.
We'll adjourn these matters in their entirety. That new date will be
February 20th at 9:40.
February 20th
At 9:40.
at 9:40. Court staff will mail a notice to you of that new date and time for the arraignment and pretrial. Is there
Okay.
anything else, Mr. Radcliffe?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes this matter. You're free to go, sir. You have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you. I am stepping off for 1 second. I will be right back. Don't go far.
I'm just going to ask you to take off the hat until after the proceeding.
Okay.
You get hired personally too, right?
Mr. Fowler, stay on mute till the judge calls your case.
Okay.
This is 23HR08975A. This is Huron Township versus Moore. May I have your appearance, please?
Like Your Honor, Sam Richardella, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, would you please say your name?
David Moore.
Your Honor, we're going to waive formal reading, stand mute, and Mr. Moore today will be pleading for 1 count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, I'm not sure how you're situated, but I can only see your outline. Would you turn so you can face more towards a light source? Thank you. Would you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you've had the opportunity to discuss the case this morning with Mr. Jadala. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, sir, is it your understanding and agreement that you will be tendering a plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive and the original charge will be dismissed?
Yeah.
And you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor. You understand that?
I do.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty? Sir,
No.
are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Oh, yes, yes.
Sir, is it true that on August 22nd, 2023 in Huron Township, you allowed an unlicensed driver to drive?
Yeah, yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Foley Carter?
Satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you.
Satisfied, Mr. Jadala?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Mr. Moore, the court accepts your plea of guilty to allowing an unlicensed driver to drive and will dismiss the original charge of driving while license suspended. The court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter, sir. There's a $100 fine. There's $100 in costs. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 show cause fee, $50 bench warrant fee, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. That's $445. Do you need more than 5 days to pay this amount, sir? Sir,
I do.
do you need more than 5 days to pay this amount?
Yes, I do.
Then, sir, you need to contact the court's collection department. You can call them, you can come in person,
I'll
or you
call
can
them.
go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on that, it'll drop down. You can submit a request for a payment plan. When you do that, sir, you can address the 2 other outstanding matters you have with this court: a no proof of insurance and a speeding ticket where you owe the court $636. All 3 of these things may be put into a single payment plan.
All right.
Is there anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you. That concludes this matter. Mr. Moore, you're free to go. You have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. This is 24SU000160M, Sumter Township versus Zachary Croteau.
Yes.
Croteau.
Yeah, Croto.
State your name for me, sir.
Zachary Croto.
Mr. Croteau, you've had, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Have you had the chance to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Young, how are we proceeding?
Dog at large case, Your Honor, a couple dogs actually. It was one of those situations where he left the gate open. He has good security for the critters, so treated as a learning experience, moved to dismiss.
Any objection to this case being dismissed, sir?
No.
Case is dismissed. You have a good day. You're free to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is 24HR007620M, Sumter Township versus Craig Fowler.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Fowler. Mr. Fowler, please say your name.
Craig Fowler.
Your Honor, for purposes of today's arraignment, we're going to waive formal reading and stay mute. At this time, Your Honor, Mr. Fowler is going to be pleading guilty as charged to 1 count of littering, and I'd like to advocate on his behalf once the plea is over, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Fowler, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case this morning with Mr. Jadala.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, sir, you wish to plead guilty as charged to littering in Huron Township on January 19, 2024.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you understand that the court accepts your plea this morning. You will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea of guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jadala, what was it that you wanted to say, sir?
Your Honor, I just wanted the court to know that this wasn't a malicious or any type of per se littering that caused any damage or any permanency. Your Honor, he was given a trespass order put on his windshield wiper. He didn't agree with it. He grabbed it. He balled it up and threw it on the floor. Hence, the littering. We just ask you to take that in consideration when you assess fines and costs and make them minimal as possible, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Jadala. I did read the citation and I saw that that was the issue. Mr. Fowler, the court will impose the absolute minimum fines in this matter. It's a $100 fine, it's $100 in costs. There's $75 mandatory crime victims, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. Mr. Fowler is $345, sir. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Fowler, what you need to do is contact the court's collection department. You can do that in one of three ways. You can go online to the court's website. There's a drop-down button that says contact us. You can submit a request for payment plan that way. You may come in person, or you may call and speak to a member of the court's collection staff. Is there anything else, Mr. Jadala, in this matter?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fowler, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. What was that amount again, Your Honor?
$345, sir.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Mr. Ware?
Yes.
This is 1717330 OT Huron Township versus Ware. State your full name for me, sir.
Davion Ware.
Mr. Ware, the way court staff have you labeled, you not have on a shirt, sir?
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
Mr. Ware, you started off on the wrong foot by laying in the bed when you logged on to court, and then you come here in the main session with no shirt on. But that being the case, sir, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You wish to proceed on your own?
Yes.
You've had the chance to speak to the prosecutor in this case, Ms. Foley Carter?
Yes.
Did you reach an agreement with her?
Yes.
What was that agreement, sir?
She said she said she was gonna make it to where I could still get my license, because it's the only ticket that stopped me from getting my license right now, and pay fines and costs.
Was it maybe a failure to display a valid license?
You talking about the time that I got the ticket?
I'm talking about the plea that you discussed with Ms. Foley Carter this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Foley Carter, this is Mr. Ware. Was it failure to display?
Actually, Your Honor, Kaylin Foley Carter on behalf of Huron Township, I did speak to Mr. Ware, and it's my understanding that this is the last citation he has that's holding him up from getting a valid driver's license. As such, we're going to amend it to allow an unlicensed driver to drive.
Thank you. Mr. Ware, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you understand that the court accepts your plea this morning of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive, that you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yes.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promising anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on April the 23rd, 2017 in Huron Township, you allowed an unlicensed driver to drive?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Foley Carter?
Satisfied, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ware, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive and will dismiss the original charge of driving while license suspended. The court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. There's a fine of $100. There's cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee, $50 bench warrant fee, $15 administrative fee, $50 late fee. That's $460. Sir, the court is able to apply the bond that you posted, and you can set a payment plan for the balance. You can either go onto the court's website to the Contact Us button, submit a request for a payment plan that way. You may come in person to the court, speak to court staff and set a payment plan, or you may call and speak to the collections department. They will set a payment plan. Was there anything else, Mr. Ware?
No. Could you repeat the balance again?
$460, sir.
Okay.
You have a good day. You're free to go. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smedley.
Sorry, Your Honor.
24HR00931. I'm sorry, Ms. Medina.
No, I apologize, Your Honor. I was gonna say why you were looking for the next file, but you found it very quickly. If Mr. Young could meet me in his room, I apologize, Your Honor.
No worries. Take your hat off, sir, please, and thank you. State your name for me.
Ben Smedley.
Mr. Smedley, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Ms. Foley Carter?
Yeah.
Ma'am, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, Caitlin Foley Carter, on behalf of Huron Township, will be amending the animal at large misdemeanor to animal at large civil infraction.
Mr. Smedley, is it your understanding and agreement this morning that you will plead responsible to the amended count of a civil infraction of animal at large?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Sir, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the civil infraction, will impose fines and costs of $200. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No.
5 days to pay, and that will conclude this matter. The misdemeanor portion is dismissed. This is a civil infraction. Anything else,
How do I
Mr. Smedley? You can pay
How do I pay?
online or you can pay in person. You can come to the court.
Thank you.
Anything else? Have a good day, sir. These are 23HR12443, A, B, and C. These are Huron Township versus Zachary Hofferber.
Hofferber, Your Honor.
Hofferber, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, respectfully, Samer Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Hofferber. Your Honor, for purposes of arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stand mute. At this time, he'll be pleading as charged to one count of driving with his license not valid, stop sign, and no proof of insurance are being dismissed.
Thank you. Sir, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala this morning, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation with Mr. Jadala, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll tender a plea of guilty to driving while license not valid, and the 2 civil infractions of failing to stop at a stop sign and no proof of insurance will be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts that plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, is it true that on December 1st, 2023 in Huron Township, you were driving while your license was not valid?
Yes, ma'am.
Satisfied, Mr. Jadala?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Mr. Hoffenberg, the court accepts your plea of guilty as charged in this matter. Mr. Jadala, was there something you wanted to say before fines and costs were imposed in this matter?
Your Honor, we just asked for minimal fines and costs. Mr. Hoffenberger is currently working on regaining, getting his valid license.
Thank you. Mr. Hoffenberg, the court will impose a fine of $100, cost of $100, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. That's $345. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, sir, you can do one of three things. You can come in person, speak to a member of the court's collection staff, and they'll set you on a payment plan. You may call and speak to the collections department, or you can go onto the court's website. There is a contact us button. You click on that, it will drop down and let you submit a request for a payment plan that way, okay?
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go. You have a good day. Good luck to you.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. 24SU00054 A, B, and C. These are Sumter Township versus Jalen Sims.
Hello. Yes.
State your name, ma'am.
Jalen Sims.
Ma'am, have you already spoken to one of the court-appointed attorneys this morning?
Yes, I have.
Who did you speak to? Do you recall?
I don't know her name. I'm sorry.
Her name? That's Miss Medina. She's not in this main session. When she comes back, I'll recall this case, okay? Oh, here she is.
Oh, Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Miss Sims with regard to the arraignment, we would waive formal reading and stand mute, Your Honor.
Thank you, Miss Medina.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Miss Sims, because this is your first appearance, there had not been bond set previously, because this is a citation that involves the allegation that you were operating a motor vehicle, texting, disobeying a stop sign, and had a blood alcohol content alleged at 1.149. The court will set as a condition of your bond that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages until further order of the court, or this matter is resolved in its entirety. Ms. Medina, for purposes of pretrial.
Your Honor, we would request an adjourned pretrial date. I have spoken with Mr. Young. He is going to recovery.
March
The
14th.
adjourned pretrial date, I'm sorry.
All right, March 14th at 9:50.
March 14th at 9:50 a.m. Ms. Sims, that'll be back here with me in courtroom number 1. Court staff will mail notice of that new date and time to you at the address you verified this morning. Is there anything else, Ms. Medina?
No, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Sims, you're free to go. You have a good day, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think we had a Mr. Oh, there he is. Sorry. Sorry, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we're ready on Mr. Farr, which will be adjournment.
Yes, sir. I was trying to get to it, Mr. Venison. 23SU01588, Sumter Township versus Stephen Farr. Your appearances, please.
Michael Vincent on behalf of Stephen Farr. Mr. Farr, tell the judge your name.
I'm Stephen Farr.
Thank you, Mr. Farr.
Thank you.
Your prosecutor and I have talked about an adjournment to March 14th I have barely just got into the case. I want to do some more research on it. And Mr. Farr has informed me that he is in AA almost 40 days now. And he has his first coin, which he brought with him. And he continues with that. He's done, he tells me he's done drinking. I know that's easy for me to say, but that's what he's telling me. He has a coin, which to me shows that he's involved to that point. The breathalyzer on this allegedly is 0.12.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Mr. Farr, thank you for bringing to the court's attention that you have started to participate in AA and taking sobriety seriously. Sir, we'll set your bond at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear and participate in these proceedings until the matter is resolved in its entirety. Because of the allegations contained in the citation condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages until this case is resolved in its entirety or until further order of the court. As indicated by Mr. Vincent, this case is adjourned until March the 14th at
9:50.
At 9:50 a.m. back here in number 1 with me. Notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Is there anything else, Mr. Vincent?
No, Your Honor, and thank you.
Thank you. That concludes this matter. Have a good day.
One other matter, Your Honor. I think Mr. Vincent has all of the discovery that I sent him.
Yes.
If he needs anything else, let me know. And we'll have it, as sooner than later if you can, if you need something.
Yes, one of my overpaid and underworked staff would get a hold of you. Okay.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes.
The picture that I see there to your right behind, is that your high school graduation picture?
What have you been smoking before you got here?
Sorry, I couldn't resist. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent.
Thank you, Thank you.
These are 23 SU 01532 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Christopher Tetters. Mr. Tetters, please unmute yourself, turn your video on, and state your name for me, sir.
Christopher Tetters, Your Honor.
Thank
And
you.
Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Tetters, with regard to the arraignment, we would waive formal reading and stand mute, Your Honor.
Thank you. And for purposes of pretrial, Ms. Medina?
Your Honor, again, I did speak with Mr. Young. He will be sending us discovery on this case, and we would like an adjourned pretrial date. Thank you.
Mr. Tetters, the court will set your bond in this matter at $3,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Because the allegations contained in the citation allege that you were operating a motor vehicle while you were intoxicated, a blood alcohol content of 0.088. Condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages during the pendency of this matter and until further order of the court. Your adjourned pretrial date will be
March 14th at 10 o'clock.
March 14th at 10 a.m. back on Zoom in number 1. Is there anything else in this case, Mr. Young?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Medina?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tetters. I'll see you back here on March the 14th, sir. Have a good afternoon.
You as well, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is
I think I'm done.
24 HR 00339OI. Huron Township versus Kenneth Pugh. May I have your appearances, please?
Caitlin Foley Carter, on behalf of Huron Township, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Leslie Aycock, on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Pugh, who's present in my office to my left. Can you please state your name for the judge?
Kenneth Pugh.
Thank you, Ms. Aycock and Mr. Pugh. Have you had the opportunity to speak to one another?
We adjourned it.
We have, Your Honor.
How are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, the people will be amending the school bus violation to double parking with a fine of $300.
That is correct, Your Honor. My client's prepared to make that payment today.
Thank you. Mr. Pugh, you had the opportunity to discuss this case with Ms. Aycock, and you understand that today's hearing was scheduled for a formal hearing on the allegation of failing to stop for a school bus in Huron Township on January 9, 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, you desire this morning to plead responsible to the added count of double parking and the original charge being dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
The court accepts your plea of responsible to the double parking, will dismiss the original citation, assess a fine of $300. The court is able to apply the bond that you posted. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the balance, sir?
No, ma'am. I'll be in there as soon as I leave here.
Make a notation in the file that we're applying the bond and that you'll pay the balance within the next 5 days. I heard you say that you'll come today, but then that will resolve the matter. Is there anything else, Ms. Foley Carter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Aycock?
Nothing from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day, all.
Thank you. Good luck to Mr. Pugh. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. You too.
Thank you. It's 11:11. I'm checking. I see nobody else. Our last case was scheduled at 10:50. We're past that 15-minute mark. Anyone who is not here is deemed in default or set for show cause or bench warranted.
So with that, Your Honor, have a good day. Thank you.
No, you can't leave.
Oh, I can't.
No. You come sit in our beautiful building, the least you can do is hang around.
Okay, I'll hang around.
Thank you, Ms. Foley Carter and Mr. Young. You both have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You do the same.
Thank you. Two, three SU 01465 BOT. Trinity Brentley was scheduled at 8 a.m. It's now 11:12 a.m. Defendant having failed to appear, bench warrant shall issue. 23 SU 01527 BOT. James Neal was scheduled at 8 a.m. It's now 11:12. By the court's clock, defendant having failed to appear for the show cause arraignment pretrial, bench warrant shall issue. 23 SU 00634B. AJ Stovall. Case was scheduled at 8 o'clock. It's now 11:13. By this court's clock, defendant having failed to appear, bench warrant shall issue. 5,010%. 23 HR 11801 AOT. Maria Stowe, case was scheduled at 8 a.m. It's now 11:13. By the court's clock, defendant having failed to appear, bench warrant shall issue. 23 HR 12630B. Jawad Tariff, the case was scheduled for arraignment, show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 11:13 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in this matter, bench warrant shall issue. 23 SU 01469A. Sumter Township versus Robert Thornton. The case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 11:14 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in this matter, bench warrant shall issue. 5,010%. 23 SU 01482. A and C, Sumter Township versus Jason Ventro. These cases were scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 11:14 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in these matters, bench warrant shall issue. 23 SU 01489, Sumter Township versus West Watkins. The case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 11:14 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time, bench warrant shall issue. 5,010%. 23 SU 01457A. Sumter Township versus Robert Wilson. The case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 11:14 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time, bench warrant shall issue 5,010%. 23SU 01573OT, Sumter Township versus LaShawn Kyles. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:30. It's now 11:15 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear as directed by this court, show cause shall issue. 23HR 11888 A, B, and C. These are Huron Township versus Sakina Harper. These cases were scheduled for pre-hearing and arraignment pretrial at 9:50. The A and B file, civil infractions will be deemed in default. The C file, misdemeanor, will be set for show cause. SU 01084A, Sumter Township versus Dylan Villanuvo. The case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:40 a.m. It's now 11:16 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear as directed by this court. Case will be set for show cause. These are 22SU 00629, 22SU 00789 A and B, and 23SU 00984B. These are all Sumter Township versus Kamani Gwen. These cases were scheduled for show cause at 8:50 a.m. It's now 11:16 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, these cases being in warrant status, they will stay that way. 23SU 01583 A and B. These again are Sumter Township versus Kamani Gwen. These cases were scheduled for remote arraignment pretrial and pre-hearing at 8:50, now being 11:16 by these court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the B file, civil infraction, will be deemed in default. The A file will be set for show cause. 20HR 03478A, Huron Township. Nope, we did this, Craddock. 23SU 01584 A, B, and C. These are Sumter Township versus Natasha Malakumulk, MALIKULMULK. These cases are scheduled at 9:10 a.m. for arraignment pretrial and pre-hearing. The A file, which is the misdemeanor, will be set for show cause. The B and C files, which are civil infractions, will be deemed in default. 24SU 0003 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus DeMonte Horton. These cases were scheduled for arraignment pretrial and pre-hearing at 9:30 a.m. It's now 11:18 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A file misdemeanor we set for show cause. The B file civil infraction will be deemed in default. 23SU 01335. Sumter Township versus Robert Foster. The case was scheduled at 9:40 a.m. for arraignment pretrial. It's now 11:18 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the matter will be set for show cause. 24SU 0005 A, B, and C. Sumter Township versus Dominique Whiteside. These cases were scheduled for arraignment pretrial and pre-hearing at 9:40 a.m. It's now 11:18 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A file misdemeanor will be set for show cause. The B and C file civil infractions will be deemed in default. 24SU 00050 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Alonzo Jones Holly. These cases were scheduled at 9:50 a.m. for arraignment pretrial and pre-hearing. It's now 11:19 by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A file civil infraction will be deemed in default. The B file misdemeanor will be set for show cause. 24SU 00049 OT. Sumter Township versus Shakina Wyndham. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:50 a.m. It's now 11:19 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. 24SU 00056 OT. Sumter Township versus Eric Benke, BEHNKE. Case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10:10 a.m. It's now 11:19 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. These are 192106, 194195, 195083, 195084. These are all Andre Duval Bradford. They were scheduled for show cause at 10:20 a.m. It is now 11:20 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. These cases already being in warrant status, they will stay that way. These are 19U132665, 19U313526, 19U313527, A and B, 20VB0328AOI. Again, Andre Bradford, these cases were scheduled for show cause at 10:20 a.m. It's now 11:20 a.m. by this court's clock. The court will note that the defendant has failed to appear for these matters. Same with 21UI68292, 22SU1256, 22UI68311, 24SU00073 A and B. These are all Andre Bradford. Any civil infractions will be deemed in default. Any misdemeanors will be set for show cause. 24SU0061 A and B. These are Sumter Township versus Christopher Collins. 22SU00341A, 22SU01145A. These are all Christopher Collins, Sumter Township. The cases were scheduled at 10:20 a.m. It's now 11:21 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. The A file civil infraction will be deemed in default. The B file will be set for show cause. Yes, Mr. Hadley.
I actually tuned in at just the right time. I think I just heard you say Mr. Christopher Collins.
You think what with Mr. Christopher Collins?
I think I was just tuning back in to make sure that that was my only other assignment today. I believe he failed to
It
appear.
is.
You were
Have you-
issuing a show cause?
He's failed to appear. Yep, that was it.
Yep, I did not. I was unable to make contact with him. I just want to let the court know that, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. You too. 23SU0065 A and B, Sumter Township versus Wendell Fry. These cases were scheduled at 10:20 a.m. It's now 11:22 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A file civil infraction will be deemed in default. The B file will be set, misdemeanor will be set for show cause. 24SU00074 A, B, and C. These are Sumter Township versus Dennis Mayer. The cases were scheduled for pre-hearing and arraignment pretrial at 10:30 a.m. It's now 11:22 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A file misdemeanor will be set for show cause. The B and C file civil infractions will be deemed in default. 24SU00038 A and B, Sumter Township versus Cynthia Reynolds. The cases were scheduled for arraignment, pretrial, and pre-hearing at 10:50 a.m. It's now 11:23 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear as directed by this court. The A file civil infraction will be deemed in default. The B file misdemeanor will be set for show cause. That concludes this court's docket for today. We stand adjourned.